All right, let's talk about where we're at today with the aquaponics. The system is running. It's still not in the final design, but because of the airlines and all of the paraphernalia everywhere, my wife says it looks like an ICU unit, and she teaches nursing at university. So let's attack it from that angle. Here we have these guys here. This is patient number 1. This is called Play Yisuk 7-stripe barb, also known as Julian's golden carp. Now these guys are endangered. They come from the Mekong Delta and the Charapayo River in Bangkok, and they eat vegetable matter as well as small insects and so on. In this tank we've got 100 barramundi. Talk about them a bit later. I'll just slip by the air pump. We've got, as you can see, we've got a lot of air movement and water movement, and that's the reason for that is that the water temperature is 28 degrees centigrade, and so the dissolved oxygen is extremely low, and you need a huge amount of air and surface movement to keep the dissolved oxygen up. I've got in each tank I've got 3 4-inch air stones. This pump is delivering 70 litres a minute, and the other pump over there that's hanging by rope to stop the noise is delivering 120 litres a minute to the other tanks. Down here we have, I'll talk about the colour of the water in a minute. Down here we've got, if I can get them to all come back, we've got barramundi, Play Kapong. We've also got, on the other side of this, I've got tilapia, which is called Play Nin. And so the way to tell them apart is that the ones that look fat across the head are the tilapia, the ones that are skinny with a stripe are the barramundi. So there's 100 in here also. In this tank we've got a really beautiful fish. If you've eaten Thai fish cakes, you've probably eaten this fish. This is called Play Grai, and it's the spotted featherback or clown featherback, and it's not only does it live in the Mekong and Thai rivers, but it also has the ability to breathe air by inflating its swim bladder, so it can live in really bad conditions and low oxygen water. As I said, I need to really look after the oxygen, and also I need to look after the water chemistry. What I'm doing is I'm using humic acid. This one's from Germany, and it's quite good. I'm also using this stuff called Super 50 from a company in Ireland, and I've got to say this stuff looks like it might be a winner. It's concentrated seaweed extract, so more about that later. After I come out of the tanks, I go down and into a swirl filter. The swirl filter has got the input facing downwards, and I come out of the swirl filter at the top with about let me just put this down, with about 30% down. So I'm just sucking the water back out from the top. As you can see, the mineralisation and collecting the dust from the rocks. I'll fix that up in a minute. Alright, each couple of days I drain from the bottom of the swirl filter any of the fish poo and the solids, leftover food, whatever's floated to the bottom, and I take that and put it on the fruit trees. I'm still in the process of design, so just bear with me. Over here we've got another swirl filter, and we're going in at the bottom 30% high, we're coming out at the top 30% high, and then we're going into a mineralisation filter. Mineralisation filter is using these ceramic beads from Japan. As you can see, they've got millions of holes in them, and then there's 2 4-inch air stones in there, plus there's the spaghetti material which I've put in the bottom. And the idea of all of this is to get rid of the solids, the fish poo and so on, so that by the time we get over here to the first sump tank, we're dropping here, we're dropping in a huge amount, because this is coming from the lowest swirl filter. And this one is coming from the swirl filter plus the biofilter. And so the water that's in here is extremely clean. No solids, and this is where the patient lives, Australian red claw crayfish. So in 3 of these, there's Sheba, you can have something to eat later. In 3 of these sump tanks, we've got Australian red claw crayfish. We pump out at 12,000 litres per hour. We feed in by gravity. We're using some other feeds at the moment just to work out which is the best timing for when I do the electronics setup for pumping into the filters and timing it so that it works out correct. Okay, now over here. Okay, this is the bad boy. I've lost 17 of these guys so far. This is Playtron, striped snakehead fish. This is the fish that can walk with its head and its front fins, and it's also the highest omega-3 fish in Thailand, freshwater fish in Thailand. This is a bad boy. This guy bites, jumps, and can sneak out of any opening where it can see sunlight. So I'm keeping them covered up. Taste really good, by the way. The other 2 tanks, the 3 sump tanks, all contain Australian red claw. Now, the first fish that I showed you was the Julian's golden carp and also the tilapia. What can we feed them? Well, let me take you for a walk and I'll show you something that is absolutely amazing. These trees are falling over because the roots can't handle the amount of rain from the wet season monsoon, which has just gone past. But let me get over here, and what we're looking at here, this is moringa. Now, this is a superfood. Moringa, you can eat. It's got 18 amino acids, a little bit peppery. You can dry it and make tea. That's called different things in maram in Thai, and I can't remember the one in the Philippines. But this thing grows like crazy. I mean, this one is falling over. I've got to chop it down and start again. But this is what you can feed your tilapia and your carp, because it's it's not only a superfood for humans, but it's a superfood for fish. Fantastic, huh? Anyway, back over here. I got a bit of a problem at the moment because the granite that I'm using has got a lot of rock dust on it, and the rock dust has sent my pH up, so not to worry. I'm not too worried about the vegetables at the moment. I'm growing sprouts and beans and things, but we're just cycling through. So let's go and have another look at this moringa. Here's the seeds of the moringa. That's the leaves, okay? That's the superfood. Here are the seeds of the moringa. Now, you wouldn't believe it, this is a beauty product. Besides the mosquito on my hand. This 500 milliliter bottle of moringa seed oil cost $60. Now, I'll take it out of the sun, by the way, because it's a bit hot under here. This polycarbonate roof, gee, the worst thing I did, huh? But this moringa oil is used in the basis of Carlsberg beer, several beauty products, or many beauty products, that is. So it's also fantastic to feed to your fish. So I can feed the moringa oil to a beauty products recipe. I can feed the moringa leaves to my fish, and I can take the moringa and make it into bread or biscuits or whatever. So here we go. There's an update.